Aquarius, she's a hip-hop artist from Ottawa. How you doing tonight, Amber?
I'm pretty good. How's everybody doing?
We're good. We're good. Enjoying the vibe?
Yeah. Oh, it's actually cool to finally be in the zone, like, while you're in the zone. Usually I'm watching it on live stream, I'm dancing at home, so it's really cool.
Yeah, mad respect, mad respect. So, so you're based in, you're not from Ottawa, but you're based in Ottawa right now.
Oh, yeah, well, I live here right now, but I've been on both coasts of Canada, so east and west. I grew up out west, and then I moved to the east coast, lived in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick for a while.
Okay, so we got lots of listeners from New Brunswick area.
Yeah, I heard you have like lots of fans there. Yeah. My phone's going off, and I'm turning it off. Whoever's calling me is getting hung up on. Right now, don't call me back. Hold on. I'm so sorry about that, man.
No problem. So you were in you're in the New Brunswick and the Nova Scotia area for a while?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard of like the Snafu pub in Moncton.
No, I haven't. No.
A lot of rap shows go on out there, and I did shows there, and I lived right by it, so I was there all the time, and yeah, it just nice. I love that scene out there. Like the people that I met were pretty cool. I mean, there are some people that are a little messed up, but for the most part, the people out east are like very chill. They like to just hang out and
they are pretty chill people. Yeah, for sure. I have lots of family out there, and and all the fans that we deal with from the East Coast are all pretty chill people still.
Yeah, you have like the hashtag Team Atlantic thing.
Yeah,
it shocked me when I saw that. I was like, whoa. Is Atlantic like Atlantic or Atlantic City? Like
that's Team Atlantic. That's that's our promo team out of New Brunswick.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool.
Rick Kimball and Chelsea and Rick. If you're on there right now, big up yourself, Rick. And so what drew you to Ottawa?
Well, I actually ended up going to Toronto first. That is a very long story how I got there, but then I ended up.
I believe we are talking about that today, correct?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I ended up going to... That's a long story how I got to Ottawa. I can't even say that in like one sentence, man. Jesus. It was a very, very hard time getting here. I went to Toronto first, and some shit that we'll talk about... it's your show, I'm going to let you lead it, but we'll talk about that later on. Happened, and then I ended up here, and I just had to like make it. You know, it was either like, be homeless or get a job and get a place. And I had to do that for a while. I had to stay on people's couches and stuff when I was first here. And finally got myself a job after like weeks of looking. And finally got myself a place. And that was like years ago now. So probably about 4 years. So I had to make it or not.
Make it or break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the progression is good anyway. So you're at a place now where you're starting to evolve and do some shows and So
I think homelessness builds character too. If you're a spoiled brat and you don't appreciate things in life, you should go spend a month homeless and see what that's like.
Yeah, for sure. It's humbling. It's humbling too. Yeah. For sure. It really shows you a lot.
Yeah. So it really kind of made it so that everything that I'm doing now, I really appreciate like more than like someone who I guess might have just had it come easy to them. So.
Yeah, for sure. And you now as far as your as far as your style of music, it's hip hop.
Yeah, well, I do hip hop. It's like conscious music, but I have like released a crazy country song about people not sending me dick pics because I didn't want them to send me anymore. So I wrote a song, and that's on my channel. And then I wrote like some singing songs. I have a hip hop duet that I have with a guy, Rastafarian dude, and he was like a kung fu master. He's the guy that helped me with my very first album.
Nice.
Just amazing dude. Like that song is I think it's called Time Spent. Yeah, and he is amazing. Like that guy. So that was like my first reggae song. So I've been wanting to get into more reggae, but since then I haven't. But I do have a little bit more than hip hop, but that's my love.
So some versatility, but hip hop's your love for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now now as far as the Like, you have enough tracks out there now?
I think I have like 15, 16 tracks, something like that now.
And where can people find those? You got them on SoundCloud or?
They're kind of like, somehow I uploaded them to Google Play. Like I ended up going on Google Play and I claimed my artist page and they were all there and I was like, what the hell? So I guess when I uploaded them to like SoundCloud, they ended up everywhere. So they're not just on SoundCloud. They're on like Tidal and Amazon and Google Music and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how that happened, but if you Google me, it's on everything. So.
Okay, and do you have a YouTube channel as well?
Oh yeah, youtube.com/Amber Aquarius. So I have like a YouTube vlog channel, and then I have like my music channel. So there's Amber Aquarius Music, and then I'm Amber Aquarius.
Yeah, because you also do some podcasting, correct?
Yeah, I do like I live stream. I try to live stream every day and talk to people and just get to know people. And
I've caught them. I've caught them now and then. And
yeah, I see you, man. Like I love it when you come on. I'm like, yo, it's Darcy. What's up, man? How are you doing? Like it's awesome when people come back and talk to me because, like, for me, it's like about the people, not like, you know. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing. I just want to connect with the people, and that was the best way to do it. I found so.
Yeah, and it's interactive, so that people can communicate with you, right? Rather than just posting up a video and waiting for comments. And so it is kind of cool. Now you also do some stuff, I guess, on Twitch or.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch as well as I'm Amber Aquarius, and we do like YouNow and Live Me. So we're on all different platforms, and we started D Live recently. Nate and I. He got me hooked up on D Live, which is like the new live stream platform, and it's like different.
Yeah, I've actually checked it out. I think it's like a crypto site, right?
Yes,
like
it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a few of them out there. There's another one too, DTube. I guess people aren't getting paid on YouTube anymore. It's like it's damn near impossible to get paid on YouTube now. So a lot of the especially the newcomers now, they're going to the crypto sites. I believe it's easier for them to get paid.
I know.
So.
But when I saw the crypto thing on it, all I could see is that dude standing on stage shouting, you know, like did you see the video of the guy that was running like the cryptocurrency thing and he run around on stage, get all hyped up, crypto, like that just flashed through my head. I was like, no, this is our only option. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I think, like that's where it's going right now as far as like YouTube and all their standards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We deal with it too all the time with copyright and.
Facebook's the worst for it. Like.
Yeah, Facebook's pretty bad too. Yeah. We've definitely learned some tricks to the trade, so we play a lot of copyrighted music and we don't get cut, but through trial and error, right? You gotta just sort of work your thing and.
Well, we have our secrets.
Done, you know?
I'm not gonna give them away on air, but we have them.
So now you have a show coming on May 10th.
Yeah. Oh God.
Rap and dance off.
Yeah. I'm so excited with the half-size giants and. It's awesome. Like I'm excited, and you're going to be DJing there. And
yeah, it's going to be a great night that night for sure. We have a whole lot of talent in the room that night, so there'll be
There's so many people on that bill, and I'm just like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Like so many good artists that like I've been like checking out their videos. I'm like,
and they're all good.
Live.
Like they're all good, you know. So it's like. It's going to be a great vibe that night for sure.
I am so honored to even be like on that list, like with those names. So thank you, because I've been working so hard to.
Well, yeah, and there's not a lot of female artists in the city, so you know it's like we have to promote the female artists as well as the male artists, right? It can't just be the male artists. So
yeah, well, we're here. We don't get promoted as much, but the people that do promote the female artists, we do appreciate it because it means the world to us. Like, just us.
Yeah, we put in the work for anybody in Ottawa. That's like anybody that supports us, we support them the same way. We're me and Chantal definitely on like a passion project, right? So
man, she's the lady. Like she is like, okay, I know social media, but then I saw her post and I was like, she's got her hashtags like on point. Like she knows everything, and I'm like, she's awesome. Like,
yeah, she actually researched how to do the hashtagging properly. So it gains a lot more followers when you're doing the hashtags properly.
Yeah,
right? So
people notice. Yeah.
Yeah, and the right tags to put in there to reach out to a broader audience, and yeah, she has all that on point. So.
Yeah. I liked that. I was like, I hadn't thought of that one before.
Yeah, she's a wizard on that social media thing for sure, yeah.
I used tagging things before to help me and it still didn't work, so.
I hate it. I can't even stand like writing just like a 5-word post, let alone like 50 hashtags and doing the little box, the number sign thing all the time, and it just drives me nuts. So thank God for Chantal, because she loves like. Sometimes I'll just create the post and then she'll go in into my account and edit the post. I just put the hashtags in. So it's
Nate's behind here. It's who I keep looking at. He does the same for me. He is the social media man. I have to prop him because he does everything. He's amazing. He even sends messages for me sometimes.
Yeah, that's how I have it with Chantal too. It's like not. I'm on the social media, but I'm not on it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I just sort of like go through it, but I don't like to comment and get into big long talks on Facebook. I'd rather be hands-on with other things, you know, than...
Do you get people messaging you saying, why haven't you answered? And you're like, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
I do too, because it's like, I'm trying to write a song, or I'm trying to work on like art or something, and I'm like, Nate, can you respond please? They've sent like 5 dings, I know they need me. It's the worst.
Yeah, I've opened up things that were like a year old and be like, sorry for the late reply.
Yep.
It's like, just...
It happens.
It's hard to keep up with it sometimes, you know, with all the social media stuff. So so now just like a little bit more about your background and actually from.
Oh, well, I grew up in like this really small town in like the West Coast. So let's say like I would say Kelowna like is the closest thing that anyone would probably recognize to it, like Kelowna, BC.
Okay.
Then I was in Vancouver for a bit. I don't know, I grew up out there. Childhood wasn't the best. I grew up in like foster care and things like that. My mom was a crazy bitch. She had like Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is kind of crazy because this is what got me into Eminem. He was the first person, you know, that talked about Munchausen syndrome in his song, and I was like, what is this? And anyways, I was like, what is he talking about? You know, like, he related his songs with his mom, and I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. Like, this guy's actually talking about something I'm going through, and you know, he understands, and no one else really did at the time. So when I was growing up, no one even heard about that. So then, anyways, I got to like 16, and I was like, well, you know, the foster care said, you know, you're 16, you can have a choice. Do you want to get a job? Do you want to go on your own, or do you want to stay in foster care? And I already had like gotten my GED early and stuff because I knew like I wanted out as soon as possible of like this tiny little area.
Yeah.
So I just literally was like, okay, if you'll sign me out, I'll go. And I went and got myself like 2 jobs at the hotels that like I knew the owners, luckily, and got my own place and lived there for a while. Got hit by a car, had a brain injury, was in a coma, then came over out east just to get away.
You've been through some shit then, eh?
Yeah, it's been a long, long journey. Then lived in Halifax for a bit there, and started doing like music Like, I put out like one song called Ice. You can't even find it online anymore. It was so bad. Like, they roasted me, okay? They were like, what the hell? And when I listen to the song now, I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. But everybody's first song sucks. Your first
you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You have to, for sure.
If your first song's the best, where are you gonna go, you know?
Yeah.
Nowhere. You're gonna be a one-hit wonder, because you can't beat it, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, they made fun of me, whatever, and I was like, you know, I kind of don't mind the attention from the haters. So I'm going to put out another song because I kind of want to, like, poke the trolls a little, but I also want to, like, put out music because I've always wanted to make music. So I put out another song. And then I put on Reverb Nation. I got to, like, #1 in Halifax. And then, oh my God, people freaked out. I had, like, this guy, like, this guy Scrimmage and his girlfriend. I'd never met them. He was #1 on the talk chart, like, before me on Reverb Nation, and I kicked him off.
Yeah, I think I remember that name, yeah.
And he got so angry at me. I never met the dude. He called the police to my house. Oh, he called the police to my house. Him and his girlfriend said that I messaged her saying things, but I didn't even know her fucking number, or his number, or who they were, or that they had a problem with me. I only knew his name from being, like, he was #2 now on Reverb Nation. So, anyways, the cops came to my house, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm shaking, I'm terrified.
Petty shit, God.
Yeah, like, I don't know why they're here, and I'm scared, like, hate cops, I'm stoned as fuck, my house is hot box, you know? And, they, like, tell me that I was threatening her on her phone or something like that through text. And I'm like, yo, first off, I don't even know their number. And second of all, like, my phone doesn't even work right now. How am I able to text them? And it's like, here. And they're like, prove it. You don't like, well, here's my phone. And they look at my phone and they're like, oh, there hasn't been a text for weeks. I'm like, I know, because I'm broke and I can't even afford minutes, right? And they're like, well, what, you know, sorry to bother you. And I'm like, okay, then who called? And they wouldn't even tell me, okay? But I found out because he posted online bragging about it.
Oh my God.
So he was so fucking mad. So him and his boys started hating on me and just being like just trying to cause a bunch of problems, not letting me, like, do my shows, whatever. So I said, fuck you. I'm starting my own company. So I started Hello Famous Entertainment. And I knew the guy, Adam, that started Hello Famous, which was an old, if you're from out there, you probably know, like, the old, like, God, you know Frank magazine? Like, where it, like, talks shit about people? Yeah, okay. Hello Famous was a website that was kind of like that, and the guy that owned it, he shut it down.
So it's not like a dirty.com or
kind
something
of,
like that.
But like very small.
A primitive more one. Or...
Yeah, but like it was popular because they were talking about like the artists in town and like the radio DJs. The radio DJs. I got lipstick on it. And stuff like that in town. And then like that was hilarious. But so he shut it down anyways because it got out of hand. And I was like, yo man, can I use the name Hello Famous for my company? And he said, yeah, no problem. And I said, well, can you just write a little thing that says that I can use it? No problem, whatever. And he's like, okay, can I send it through Facebook? So he did. I start using the name like Hello Famous Entertainment, and then everyone like is like, you've stolen this name, and I'm like, no, message the guy that owns it. And the guy that owns it responded. And okay, it was like Jeff Gallant was like saying this, like Dane Richard, Francis, like all these guys like Frantic, like Tanner Repshaw, like all these people were like just talking shit and they didn't even know. Like, anyways, and so I was like, so he responds and the owner's like, no, I gave her permission. She can use this name. This is totally fine. They ignored him. and kept going and kept going and kept going. And then, whatever. So I was putting on my own shows. And I had like, I had events at like Jacob's like lounge, bar and lounge. And I had events, just like small events. I put on other female musicians and like hip-hops and some like hip-hop artists and then some like metal artists as well. And we did comedy. And it was pretty chill until like this girl realized who I was putting on shows. Man, this is such a long story. So like this guy, Critty, who I'm actually still like, we're okay now. So Critty was dating, I didn't really know too much, but he was dating, what the hell is her name? Chevy Price. He was dating Chevy Price, and I was putting Chevy Price on shows, and I was putting Realize on shows. Nobody, like, but Chevy didn't tell anybody that she was dating him, and it was very down low. So nobody in the scene even knew. So Critty came over and like started hanging out at my house trying to buy these Air Jordans that I was selling, but I didn't want to sell them to him because I wanted to sell them to someone else. He was trying to get me to sell it to him for lower, but he was trying to talk me down throughout the day. And then like this guy, Jay Jizzle Johnson, messages me. He's like, come to this cipher. And I'm like, okay, when is it? And Critty's like, oh, I'm going to that too. I'm going to go home and get changed and I'll meet you down there. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So Jay's like, I'll come pick you up. So he picks me up. We go down. And I walk in the door and I'm like sitting with my drinks. But I had no idea that anything was going on behind the scenes, that anything was happening, that there was like drama bubbling up, because when Critty went back, Chevy was like, where were you? And he was like, well, at her house, hanging out. And she's like, why were you at her house? And they had a fight, and then she's mad at me, and I'm like, no, man, like, I don't know anything. But anyways, I didn't know this yet. So I get to the store, or I get to the bus stop lounge. I walk in, I'm having my drinks, and Realize walks up, and Chevy didn't even come and talk to me herself. She got Realize and like Jay Pimpin, this like blonde friend of hers, to come up, and she like goes in to like hug me and like hits me like on the back of the head, right? And so I push her away and I just like one punch her in the face, and she just dropped down. And Jay looks at me and he's like, what? Like he had turned away for a second. That's all it took. And he's like, looks down and he's like, what happened? So I try to get out.
That is getting real with the female hip-hop artists, eh?
Right. So I try to get out, and Critty's at the doorway, and he wouldn't let me out. So I had to like push his ass to the ground to get him out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, fuck this. So I walked home. I lived like 3 blocks away. And I went and sat down at my kitchen table. I was so mad. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea why this girl that I put on at shows was hitting me. I still had no idea. Like, I was just like so confused. So I just sat down and wrote a song. So that was my song, Halifax Axe. Anyways, so long story short, Critty tells me that he's kind of in a relationship with Chevy, but they don't tell anybody about it, and it's totally his fault, and da-da-da, and I'm like, he's like, please put Realize back on shows again, and I'm like, nope, not happening, not happening. But I kept doing other shows with other people, and then these guys, BME Entertainment, or whatever, start talking to me, and they're like, they're from this area, so it's like Eric, Garnier, and lots of, they all have weird names, but they're all from like this area. But they messaged me and they're like, we'll sign you, and like we're a company that like puts on like underground artists and stuff like that. And they gave me a beat from this guy named like Graham, Golden Grahams. And I made like, this was almost at the exact same time. I was like, I need a beat for this song. So they gave me it, and I put the lyrics to Halifax Axe to it, and I released it. And then they're like, oh, you stole our beat. And I was like, what? But they didn't say it in the inbox. They said it like on the comment. And I'm like, what? You gave me this beat. Here's the screenshot. And then Jeff Gallant came on it again, and like Johnny Wheeler, like all these idiots from like that area that just hate on me for no reason. I didn't even know who Jeff Gallant was at this time. Like, I'd only seen him comment hate before, so I thought, like, he's just like a hater. Like, a nobody. Anyways, so they just jumped on that and ignored my screenshots and were like trying to slander my name, saying that I stole their beat. And I never stole their beat. They fucking gave me the beat. You know how many fucking beats I get a day? Like, even back then, I was getting way more beats for free. Like, from people.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
People email them to me. I don't ask for them.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't need to steal a beat. And they're like, they told everyone they unsigned me. And if you go and look, their shit's still there, written about me. Like, saying that I stole their beat. And I'm like, this is fucking slander, man. Like, I could sue them because they can't say things that aren't true. Anyways, so I ended up, it got so bad that I couldn't even, like, go anywhere, man. Like, in Halifax, Jeff, and I know Jeff's in Charlottetown, but he knew so many people in Halifax, I could not go anywhere. I couldn't do a show. I was getting attacked all the time. I was getting, like, shit thrown at me. I was, like, not even safe in my own house. Like, so I was like, yo, I need to get out of here or something's gonna happen. Like, really bad. So I ended up staying with, like, friends in Moncton for a while. And they had, like, I didn't really believe that shit like this could happen at that time. Like, that people would gang stalk you, and that people would, like, go behind everyone's back to, like, secretly try to fuck with you. I didn't think that people would do that at this time. I never thought that. I thought, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know. But I ended up staying with these friends in Moncton, and they knew this guy, Dave, and Dave and I started talking, hanging out, and he was, like, really seemed like a nice guy, and anyways, like, long story short, the guy ends up kidnapping me and taking me to his trailer and tying me to a pole in the, like, you know how old trailers have, like, the station pole in the middle that's, like, holding the trailer up, and it's, like, metal, and it's, like, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I was tied to. And they ended up keeping me there for, like, 3 months. And I was starving. I had no food. I had nothing. And the only way that I got out was the neighbor next door I'd become friends with. And they were scary people. They're not people you want to be friends with. But I had to have something. I had to have some friend at this time. Like, I had to get out of here.
Yeah.
And they were alcoholics. So they wanted the alcohol that was in Dave's fridge because they knew that this trailer had alcohol. And Dave had disappeared for 3 days. And I had no idea where he was. Like, where anybody was. Like, I had no food for 3 days. Nothing for 3 days. And they came over, banging on the door, asking me for, like, gin that was in the fridge. And I was like, you're not, like, I can't let you in, you're not getting in. So I, went back to, like, just the only thing I could do was just, like, sit and play video games, because that's the only thing I had access to, like, not even internet, like, GTA 5, like, not online, like, that's it. And, just, like, waiting for Dave to get home or something to do, and I hear, like, bang, 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 like, and then I pull my headphone off, and I'm like, what the hell is that here? And then, like, they're breaking down the front door. her and her 3 sons and their 2 girlfriends broke the front door in and came and started attacking me with like this big fucking, like on the way in there was a coat rack and he brought the coat rack with them like when they came to get me. Okay. And started attacking me with it, broke whatever the fuck I was chained with, and I like roll over, I see this bat, I grab this bat, the lady like that I befriended jumped on top of me, and I grabbed the bat and I didn't want to hit her because she was kind of my friend. So I said to her, and this is not a good thing to do if you're ever in a fight, don't warn them, just do it. I was like, I'm gonna hit you, and she's like no, and then her son shouted to me, do it. So I did. It was so crazy. And then she started bleeding everywhere. She turns around, runs out into the yard, and her whole family followed her out. And I instinctively just ran to the bathroom to get a towel, and that's when I realized, like, I'm free. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, I made it to the bathroom. Like, I'm all the way there. Anyways, I get a towel, give it to her, and she's shouting at me, why did you do that? And I'm like, shh, just take this towel, you know. Anyways, the police came, everything, and that's how I got out of that.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I found out that the Dave guy and the people that I went to stay with were friends with Jeff Gallant.
Okay.
Like, good friends with Jeff Gallant. And so I ended up doing a little bit of research on Jeff to find out a little bit more. And I found out this guy's like involved with like a lot of really shady shit. Like, I've had people come to me and tell me that he has like paid them to like there's this girl, Serenade, in Halifax, that told me about Tanner and Jeff paying her and trying to coax her to act like me and to pretend to like rap like me and like do things like me. And her and I are like friends still. And she literally told me the truth about everything that happened. And quite a few other people have told me, like, Jeff is saying this and doing this, and be careful. Anyways, after that, I ended up going back to Halifax and staying in my own place. And I was like even more scared that something was going to happen more. Like, I've been kidnapped. I don't know what to do now. Like,
yeah.
You know, like they got the people, but like they can't get the people that are behind the people, you know.
Yeah, so it's still going to cause you problems.
Yeah. So I just kind of was like, I just need to get out of Halifax.
That's when you dipped to Toronto, or?
Well, that's when I put a post up online saying, anybody that I know in Halifax or in Toronto, can you please give me a place to stay? I will pay rent. I have no problem with that. Like, I just need out of here. And this guy, Chris Thomas, contacted me. And this time, Jeff had blocked me, so I couldn't even, like, see who he had friends in common. And even when I looked on other people's Facebook pages, I couldn't see him at all. So I thought I was in the clear because I didn't realize that Facebook, when someone else blocks you, you can't even see them you can't even see connections to them and other people.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh, they didn't know him. So guy Chris contacts me and he's like, yeah, you can come stay with me and you pay $600 a month and that's it, and yeah, whatever, just get it out here. So I got a ticket out and I went there, and the first night I'm there, man, Chris Thomas is like, man, he's like smoking like, you know, some bad shit. He's like doing drugs, like hard drugs, like in his living room in front of me. First night I was there, not even knowing me, he had thrown a party, and then he's like, just like whips it out, like no warning or anything, right? And like, I am cool, like my beat maker that passed away was a junkie. I'm totally cool with that, and I can keep that on the down low. But it was like so fucking shocking to like see it like that, like
like
bam, now I'm
firsthand,
you know, and I'm like, okay, and I was like, oh man, I made a bad decision, but I'll try to find a job and get out of here. But it's hard to fucking find a job in Toronto as like a little white girl. Like, it is really hard. No one wants to hire you.
Yeah, true,
yeah, no one. They're like, why are you trying to work at Tim Hortons? You can get a better job than this. I'm like, no, I'll just work at the Tim Hortons. Well, we're not going to hire you. Okay. You know. Anyways, so I was trying to figure out stuff there, and I ended up dating this guy, Spidey, and Spidey's like, yo, that guy that you're telling me about, like, Jeff Gallant, like, I know that he works with this guy, Trevor.
Okay.
And this is the first time I ever heard Trevor's name. And I was like, who's Trevor? And he's like, Trevor's the guy that masterminded this. And I was like, what are you talking about? And Wade told me, like, without me saying to him anything, he told me what I'd gone through for the past 2 and 3 years. And I was like, how do you know that?
And that's Top Left Recordings?
Yeah, that's who Trevor ended up being. So I looked him up, and he owns like the Top Left Recordings company and MIC, which is like made in Canada. But I'd never heard of this guy before. Never. Like, but it's because he'd already blocked me on Facebook.
Okay, prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I couldn't see him or anything, and I thought, that's weird that he can find him on his Facebook. Spidey could find him on his Facebook, but I can't. And Spidey's like, well, it's because he probably has you blocked. I'm like, so he really does know who I am. And anyways, I made a fake account, and I looked him up more, and I found out that he was actually sending messages, like public messages, posting on Facebook between Jeff Gallant and him, and like Colin Ranks, who's known as Alias Nun, who I never met before, and Kyle and Francis and Dave, like all those people, they were sending messages like on group message boards and like on public things talking about me, but I wasn't invited to the group, and it was a private group, so I couldn't see it. But they were like saying how they wanted to kill me. Oh, they're saying how they wanted to kill me, and how they wanted to kill Jordan, my beat maker, and how it was funny that I got kidnapped, and like just how they were going to destroy my career. And
that was Trevor putting that out on the social media?
Yeah, he was commenting on, like, there would be things like Fortunato Taccini just randomly like was bored one day and like put a comment up saying, oh, just so you know, Tara Rhymes is Amber Corus and she's now in Ottawa. And it was like on 350 comments that were on that.
Wow.
Like, that's how many comments I'm talking about. Like, a lot. And if you look up like the stuff on Facebook, there's like hundreds of comments just on like a post about my name, and I've done nothing. It's just they're bored, or they see my name or something. And getting away from that situation, and basically like the only thing that I had to do to get away from that, like, because I thought that, you know, like I literally sat down with Chris and I was like, yo, do you know Trevor? And he's like, what? And I was like, do you know Trevor? Like this top left guy. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're gonna get yourself in a lot of trouble. Like, this guy's not a good guy. Like, why are you working with him? Like, you know, why am I here? You know, is this him doing this? And he's like, yeah. He's controlled your whole life for the past 3 years. And I'm like, what? I'm like, he's like, he told me to message you and tell you to live with me. So the next day, I took my stuff, I took my cat, and I left. And I went and slept in the park. Because I'd rather sleep in a park than die Anyway, so I left. And I couldn't handle it on the streets because Toronto's a really hard place to be on the streets.
Yeah, for real, yeah.
So I called my friend John, who I actually helped out when he was homeless. He was homeless for years in Halifax. And I was known as a street mom before I even did rap. People would come and hang out and I'd feed them. Like kids that had like no place to go. Like there's a place called the Phoenix Center for Youth in Halifax. It's on Tower Road. It's a good place for people to go if they need like help. Like anyone from 16 to 25. And those kids sometimes wouldn't get fed enough and they'd all come and hang out at my house just to have a place to smoke weed and be safe during the day so that like they wouldn't get swarmed because people were swarming these kids. They were trying to panhandle to get through the day or like because they were too young to work and beat them up in the middle of, you know, the Halifax Commons or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyways, one of the guys that I helped out was John. I called him and he's living in Ottawa and he said, do you have any money? And I said, no. He said, I'm going to send you money, get on the bus, and come here. And he lives in Ledbury, like in Hetherington. But he still was like, come. And I knew I'd be safe there no matter what. He didn't know any of these people from rap or anything like that. This guy I'd known for 9 years.
Yeah.
And I went and stayed with him. And yeah, he was an awesome dude, but like the girl next door ended up getting raided by the cops, and because it was a duplex, they ended up going into his place too and just completely taking the front door off and stuff like that. So we had nowhere to go for a bit. But anyways, after that, you know, got myself a job and got my own place and got back on my feet, and he did as well. But you know, it wasn't until I literally untangled myself from every single person in that group that I was okay.
Yeah.
And that's not even the end of the story. So I get my own place. I record my album in Raven Street Studios. My beat maker is still in Halifax. And he's homeless. But I have a place. I'm like, Jordan, paying it forward. You know, paying it forward. If you can get here, I didn't have enough to get him here. I said, you can get here, I will give you a place to stay. And he got here and he brought this girl, Anesta Gallant.
Oh, God.
So who do you think Anesta's related to? Jeff Gallant. Jeff Gallant, because they're both from the same town. They're both in the same place. But she won't admit to me that she's related. So oh, there's lots of Gallants and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. And I'm like, I thought years have gone by, it's overdone with, you know, why would they be trying to do this to me again? So maybe I'll just stop being so paranoid about things. Because I don't want to seem crazy to my, you know, best friend and beatmaker's girlfriend. So I accept her in the house and I'm nice to her. And she's allowed to hang out and stay as well. But the whole time that we're there, she's really quiet and doesn't say anything. And like I have, like she goes on live stream with us, but like, and she knows she's on camera, but she'll like, there's times where like, Jordan will be playing his guitar, just hanging out, and she's sitting behind him with the most weirdest, evilest look. But then there's other times where she just looks really sad. Like, what she's about to do. Like, I didn't recognize it till after, but like, about what she's about to do, she feels guilty. Or about what she's doing, she feels guilty, or something. Just weird stuff that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And, anyway, she has a big fight with him, and I had given her a pair of hair extensions, and she like hid them in her car and said it was like that, like I purposely. She hid them in her car, and she said that I purposely hid them in her car, but I didn't. I literally just gave her them. I was like, you know, would you like these extensions? I'm not using them. and literally started a fight and freaked out and made him leave with her to go back to Halifax. And I told him, I said, Jordan, if you go, man, I'm never going to see you. And I was right. Because literally, like, a month after, he was dead.
Wow.
I ended up keeping in contact with him, and he told me, like, that he'd been in the psych ward, he had, like, gone through all this shit with her. Like, she kept, like, just driving him crazy. Just driving him nuts. Just, she was insane. And, I guess Jeff might have been telling her things to say to him, because, like, his mom died when he was young, and that's how he started doing drugs. That's how he became a junkie. That's part of the reason why I never, part of the reason I never judged him. Because he just, like, that was his way of coping. He never stole from me. He was a good person other than that. But, I just remember trying to tell him, like, come back. Don't stay there, come back.
Yeah.
And, I was live streaming one morning, and Nesta comes on, and she's like, oh yeah, Jordan killed himself. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I didn't believe her, I didn't believe anybody, because he'd, like, faked his death several times. And I ended up getting a call from, like, a police officer who told me that his death is not a suicide.
Okay.
And so, when he died, he sent all of us, like all his closest friends, from his phone, a picture of where he died, of where he was. And he couldn't have done that if he was on as much drugs as the police said they shot him up with. Because he was at a party with Anesta and this guy Eric, who has since killed himself. And it's Eric's house, and they shot him in the neck with drugs. Someone did there, and killed him. And they loaded him into Anesta's car, and they drove him up to the place where there's like a lot of graffiti, like, and we used this particular mural from our first album cover, and they left him there.
That's crazy.
And these guys, Francis and like Shift from the 902, that are coming into town now to do a show here, Francis and Dane did a video. They filmed a music video at that spot, and they have one of them's dressed up, like they have somebody dressed up like a dead body, leading, and Dane's over top of him, ripping him apart. It's so disturbing. They are making fun of Jordan's death, and making fun of the fact that...
And that album where it's at the same spot?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can even look it up on Google Maps, and it's still there.
That's crazy.
I know. And they lied and said he went to the hospital, but the hospital's this way, not this way.
The other way, yeah.
You know, and he couldn't have walked that far. It's like a 2.5 hour walk from where it was.
Now but now things you're getting things are getting together now though.
Well, yeah, I pretty much like sent cease and desist letters like to these guys and said, like, stop, man. I don't want to press charges. I don't, whatever. I just want to be left alone. Just leave me alone.
And as far as like the things that you're doing and stuff like that, you're starting to, like, you're getting shows now.
Yeah.
So like you've got some positivity going on and stuff like that. We got May 10th happening. And
yeah. So this is why I'm happy. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up, because here's the thing. I've realized that over the past few years, I think that their behavior has come to light from not just me, but from a lot of people that they worked with. So people stop believing in the lies that they say. So I think a lot of people are starting to just want to work with me again because they don't believe these losers that...
Yeah, and sometimes it's better you just let people see for themselves. Right?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to talk to people about what the situation is, just let them see it for themselves. And then they know firsthand rather than second or third hand, right? Like, now now just before we wrap things up here, can you tell everybody where can they find all your stuff? What
You're probably like so shook right now. I'm sorry. So you're like, were you expecting a story like this?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're good. Yeah, no, we're good.
Yo, rappers do not have easy lives. This is part of the reason why we make hip hop, and I'm saying that right now because it's the most expressive way to say it all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, and hip hop is like it's hip hop culture, right? It speaks for itself. It's not an easy road.
It's not, but I am okay with that. I feel like if I had a choice before I was born to have an easy life or a hard life, I'd probably take the hard life. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
boring
for sure.
to have an easy life. Rich kids always complain about how they're bored. You know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no, and it gives you a humbleness too, you know. Like, I remember when I my first trip to Jamaica when I went down there, just to see how the people lived down there and stuff like that. It was very, very humbling to me. You know, and like I come back to Canada and I bitch about this and I bitch about that when, you know, like people got it way, way worse than I had it.
Man, some of them people don't have power, heat, water, or even a floor, and they're happy, smiling, dancing.
Happiest people in the world.
Greeting, you know, you know, I've been down in the Caribbean, some places like that when I was younger, growing up, and it made an impression on me. Like just.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure it does. Yeah, for sure. Now do you have anything else coming up after the Soul City? I think.
Soul City.
Soul City Music Fest.
Oh my God! You know what? I haven't had. No one gave me the date for that yet.
Yeah, I don't actually. I know Hashtag Giants were on there, but I don't know the exact date either. I don't think the date has actually been locked down. I just know the venue is.
I am honored that people would ask me to their shows before the date because I'll show up. As long as I don't double book myself, I'll make sure. But I'm honored. We have Soul City. We have the May 10th. There's a couple other shows going on.
Well, we won't mention one of them. But
And what else? I think I might be doing with a show with Giant in June as well. I think that's Splash.
Oh, Splash, yeah.
He asked me to do that. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, Giant's a good. He's got a good vibe, Giant, for sure.
Yeah, you know him, don't you?
Yeah, he's part of Hashtag Giants.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. Man, I remember seeing you guys on YTV back in the day. Crap, I was in my little town, like, full of country music. You know, I got made fun of for listening to that stuff. So I remember just, holy crap. They go way back. I wasn't the DJ for them back in those times. Yeah. But just since they reunited, they're definitely like a cornerstone in Ottawa hip hop for sure. Like. Yeah, it makes my life well, not my life, but it makes a big chunk of my life. Yeah, very talented. Just very, very, very talented, and then the whole white Mexican and Jamaican vibe too is just it's unique and it's the energy that these guys got is insane.